everybody. Welcome to Club Fuck It Bucket. We're in the middle of holiday season, and I have a gift for you today. We are going to be talking about times in our life when we wanted to do something and maybe the universe told us don't do it, or our friends and family were like, it's too risky, but then we just decided to do the thing anyway. And like a professional at doing this, Josh Reinecker, come on out and join us. We are so excited to have you here.
How we doing?
Coming to us from Indy today.
The big city.
The big city. The most vanilla city in the U.S.
Yes, one of, yeah. Basically, the entire U.S. is that.
But like you are, like Indy is, I've been there. And for anybody who's from there, I mean this in the nicest possible way, but it is probably one of the most like boring cities ever, yeah. Right?
Outside of race cars, it's really
outside of race cars. Yeah. There's just like if you're lucky, you can get like a 5-way chili from, Cincinnati style out there, but that's about it. But you are like, you are the antithesis of Indy, right? Like you're the person they do like the most interesting man of the world commercials about, right?
Yeah, I've done some things.
You've done some things. Like, let's start with the fact that you love animals, but you keep a very interesting pet. Before you say what it is, if you're here with us listening live, take a hot second and put in the comments and guess what interesting pet Josh has.
It does swim.
Oh, there's a hint. It's not a mermaid. Anybody? All right. Well, while we're waiting for some people to put some comments in there, Chris will pop them up. So you love animals. Who else? It's Sims. Come on, guess. Damn it. Sims is my like. He's my LinkedIn crush.
That's a good guess. The eel is a good guess.
An eel. There we go. That's nice. All right. What is it? Tell us.
I have a shark. I have a shark that I've had. That's an iridescent shark, so it's freshwater, and I've had it for almost 20 years, amazingly. So yeah, it's a good time.
Okay, so you're not afraid of commitment.
Like, oh, look at that. That's a shark. I'm like, yeah, it's a shark.
How big is the shark? A platypus?
He's not that big. He's maybe 18 inches, but
okay.
A platypus sounds better, honestly. I mean, that's now I feel like I'm being downplayed a little bit. So
I just have to know because it is a fish. Is it like actually 18 inches or is it like 18?
Oh no, yeah, it's like full on 18 inches. Okay. I mean, it would grow a lot bigger than that, but I keep it in a small tank, so it doesn't get that big.
There's so many jokes here that I didn't make, but I should have.
Yeah, you certainly could.
All right. So you've got a shark, you live in Indy, but you have just like a really, really interesting kind of journey to get to where you are today. And it kind of like kicked off with a major, major failure. And that maybe was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Okay. I have to say it. Don't kill me. But like, this is a horrible trope, but you know why women are so bad at math? Because all our lives we've been told this is 6 inches. All right.
Yeah.
And so here, okay. So you had, you went to college, you graduated, you were like thinking about what your life was going to be like and who you were going to do life with. And you made some plans, but those plans didn't necessarily work out the way that you had thought. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So 4.5-year relationship, and gave the ring, did the thing, was ready to move forward, and then had the ring handed back to me after a few months and was like, completely devastated, which started, I thought that was the bottom, but that was the start of finding the bottom. So yeah, I ended up, turning to booze and partying and went completely off the rails and decided, and this was in Ohio. So I was like, I need to get the hell out of here or I'm going to die.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I had an opportunity to move to Indy. So I was like, yep, doing that. Sold all my shit, hopped in a car, moved to Indy, and kind of started over. But yeah, that was absolutely devastating. And looking back, it was a blessing because it it certainly turned my life in a direction that made some sense. I had no real direction then. It was like, I'll get married, we'll do the thing, whatever. But yeah, once that happened, it was like, okay, I need to do some things for me, and that kind of changed the path of my life, and that was 20 years ago now.
Wow. Okay, so I'm connecting some dots here. So 20 years ago, you lost kind of your future partner. You moved to Indy so that you wouldn't die, and you decided to turn your life around. And so what you did was you bought a shark?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I had, yeah, that's pretty true, actually. Yeah. I found myself actually living, I didn't have a job, didn't have anybody I knew here really. Ended up getting a little shithole apartment on the east side of town, and I was like, I need companionship, so I'm going to get a fish. Ended up doing that. And yeah, that was about the time that that things started to kind of change. So maybe it's the shark. The shark is my good luck charm. Maybe I hope it never dies.
Oh no! Oh, that's just like that's a horrible thought. Okay, so an immortal shark. So you got an immortal shark.
Yeah.
You moved to Indy. You didn't know anyone. You didn't have a job.
No.
Why? Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, that's what I should have done 18 months ago when my life kind of exploded. Is I should have just bought a shark.
Bought a shark changes everything.
Yeah, but instead I have 3 kids, 2 dogs, and 3 cats, and so I don't think we have room for a shark. So you moved to Indy. You didn't have a job. You didn't know anybody. Ashley says #buy the shark, which might be my next tattoo.
Buy the shark.
And why Indy? Like,
so I had an opportunity to move here with a friend, and I moved here, worked with him, and that opportunity kind of derailed, and I found myself basically alone is what happened.
Okay.
So I had an out from Ohio, and that out was moving to Indy, but that all really went sideways. And then I was like, well, time to start a new me, and that's kind of what happened. So
I went from being Josh, the guy with no direction, to being Josh, the guy with the pet shark.
Yeah.
All here in my mind right now is Mac the Knife playing in the background. Like, that's, I feel like that should actually be like your walk-in theme song.
Yeah.
I know you said like Sexy Motherfucker by Prince, but which is good. Like,
because it's shaking that ass, right? I mean, you can't walk in without that part. That's the thing.
That's the thing. But I kind of feel like Mac the Knife might actually be the one. So, okay. So you're in Indy. You've decided you've got to become like the next version of Josh. Starts with a shark. But then where do you go from there? Like, that feels like you set a really fucking high bar.
Yeah, it wasn't even a bar that I set really. It was all accident, right? It's the things that we throw in that happen by accident. So found myself late at night looking for jobs online, of course, as you do. And a commercial came on for ITT Tech. And I was like, hey, I'll do that. That's a thing I can kind of maybe do. And they have career services. So like made the phone call, did the thing, ended up starting a program there, and went to career services. And like, that was when I made the decision. I'm like, okay, this is it, right? Like, I'm going to go to school. Everybody in that school is going to know me. I'm going to put this spirit out that every teacher is there to teach me. And that's it. Everybody else is along for the ride. That's great. They're going to learn some shit, but this teacher's here for me, and that's it. And so that's why I approached every single class.
Can I just pause for a second? Because I don't know if you know this, but I teach at VCU here in Richmond. And my students, a lot of them are team replay on these. And so I just want to take a second and tell all of my students, like, yes, that is actually the case for every single one of you. Yeah. You should look at that. Like, your professors are here for you. That's how I approach it. And I just love that. So like, that's amazing. Yeah. I've never had anybody put it into words like that, but it's definitely how I approach my students and all of the professors I work with as well. Such a great philosophy. Okay, so you're there. You've decided that you are going to be the king of the campus.
Yep. So what ended up happening was basically the entire staff, all the teachers, everybody that was there knew who I was, right? They didn't necessarily know a lot about me, but they knew I was there. They knew I was there for a reason.
Did they know that you don't have shark teeth, but you have a different type of special teeth?
Yeah, ready to hit it.
Yeah, that?
For sure.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if people know that I.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Does anybody want to guess what type of special teeth Josh has? We'll come back to this one.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to that.
Yeah,
it's a classic one. I have two.
Two?
Isn't that weird?
That's so weird.
It's super weird. Yeah.
Are they like just like in there, or are they like in the middle of the roof of your mouth?
No, they're where they're supposed to be. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And they just leave them.
Yeah.
I just hope everybody who's watching this right now is going like, what the fuck
are they talking about?
Yeah. You can hit us up in our DMs and we'll give you the secret to the teeth.
Classic.
Yeah. Nancy Drew.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was so I've been in this role now, Energy Access, for 16 years. So while I was at ITT, the owner of this business came in looking for what he thought was an operations manager. And he held up this list, which here's the cool thing. So I still have the list that he came in and was
oh
like,
my God.
And
like right there.
Yeah. I keep it here because so he had this list of like duties that he wanted an ops guy to be able to do. Right. And here I am, 28 years old, sitting in class, mostly full of piss and vinegar more than anything else. And so he's going through the list and I'm like, okay, yeah, that I know. I have no idea what that means. I've heard of that before. Yep. No idea what that is. Yep. That I can do. Went through the list and I was like, well, about 40% of that, I think I could just do. So this was like my fuck it moment, right? Where I'm like, hey, I'm just going to go do the thing, right? I'm going to apply. I'm going to go get this gig. And so that was in 2006 and basically applied, and he was like, yeah, we'll bring you in as a contractor. We'll see what's up. And I'm like, okay, I'm owning this. Like, I'm going to make this role me. Right. That's the way I came in. And sure enough, I mean, here I am 16 and a half years later. So came in as ops manager and then continued in school. I was like halfway through my bachelor's degree at that point. So still in school, ops manager. And strangely enough, there's another story behind all that, but we can do that another time. So started to just kind of grow. And it was like every time something would come to me and it's like, do you know how to do this? And I'm like, no idea, but let's figure it out together. Right. It's like, it was never a situation where I was like, the whole term, like fake it till you make it. Like that was never me. I was always just like, nope, no idea. But it's a time for us to learn together, right? Like
I have no fucking clue.
I have no clue what I'm doing, right? But let's figure it out. Let's do it. Let's do, and not only do it, but let's do it in a way that when somebody else comes in and sees how we're doing it, they're going to be like, shit, why aren't we doing it that way? Right?
Yes.
The attitude that I had the whole time. So building out kind of the system of what we were doing. We had third-party auditors coming in and seeing the systems we were setting up and all those kind of things. And they're like, what's your goal for this? I'm like, if the auditor comes in and he's like so excited about what we're doing that he pees a little bit in his chair. Like, that's what I want. That's the win, right? Like, I don't want someone to come in and be like, meh, you're doing okay. Like, no, that's not okay. Like, come in, pee a little bit because we're killing it. That's what I want to see.
Oh my God. I feel like this whole thing is like tattoo. Like, I'm just going to go back and pull out my next tattoos. Okay, first of all, Tara, yes, there's a pet shark involved. You'll have to go be team replay to figure that out. Sims, while he does have human teeth in his mouth, he does not have human teeth from another human, but that was an interesting guess.
Yeah.
And I absolutely adore you. Vampire, they're not vampire teeth either. Do you want to just tell?
Definitely related. So both my canine teeth are still my baby teeth.
You never lost them.
I never lost my canines. So most people have their canines are the longest teeth in their mouth, and mine are actually the shortest.
Mine are even pointy.
Yeah, mine are super small. So my adult teeth are still up in my gums.
Yeah.
Here I am 44 years old and I still have baby teeth.
I'm telling you, you are the least commitment phobic person I've ever met in my life, right? Like, you get a pet shark that is still going strong 20 years later. You keep your baby teeth. You're like, no, I love you. I just want to like, you know, I mean, this is a thing. I feel like I feel like you could, and then also like you're the walking antithesis of not just Indy, but also the city, but also not Indiana Jones, which is kind of cool. But also like imposter syndrome, right? Like you have this mindset. And I will say this is kind of interesting, right? Is that their statistics have shown that men will apply for a role if they meet only 60% of the qualifications, but women typically won't qualify for one unless they meet 90%. And you're over here going, 30 to 40%. I was like, yeah, I can fucking do this. And I can do it, not just do it, but also do it like literally better than anybody else I know. You're basically the smartest person you know.
My goal is to never be that, right? I mean, that's the thing is like, I never want to even remotely believe that. And so that's the fun part, right? Is that if you come in with an attitude of, you know what, I'm just going to default to curiosity, which is one of my hashtags, right? Default to curiosity. It's like, no matter what the situation, like, I don't want to be an imposter. I don't want to say that I'm going to fake it. No, I'm not going to fake shit. I'm going to tell you, I don't know how to do it. And then we're going to figure it out together. And then when we do, people are going to be like, whoa, how'd you do that? Right? Like, that's the way to do it. Like, don't fake anything. Just say, I don't know how to do it. And then do the thing. Right?
And then,
like, I don't know how to do it, and do it. And it's fine.
Put together a whole bunch of brains of people who like, that's what Tara and I do. So she's my Richmond homie, actually. So we get to see each other in real life, which is really exciting. Okay, so we're almost out of time. Here are a couple things that I want to ask you. You've been in Indy now for like, you're basically a native at this point, right? You've been doing what you've been doing for 16 years. You're obviously good at it. You have a lot of passion, but the thing that I can't kind of picture you doing is resting on your laurels and not seeking out opportunities to grow. So what's the next thing that you're going to like throw into your fuck it bucket and be like, you know what? I don't know how to do this, or this scares me, but I'm going to do it. And Sarah goes, she's my Richmond me. Everyone knows that is, unfortunately or fortunately, that's my brand. Thanks, Tara, for sitting in that with me. I love it. Okay, so what's the next thing that you throw into your fuck it bucket?
So I've had this idea, and this may be the catalyst for it. So I've basically built a career on the word "and," right? Where it's like, yeah, I don't know how to do that, and I'm going to do it anyway, right? So using the word "and," it's there, or is like completely dismissed from my vocabulary. So I think I'm going to write. I think I'm going to write a book based on how the word "and" can change your life.
I love this. I love this. I tell my students, I tell my kids, I tell my clients this all the time. I'm a yes person. So the goal is to never start with no and always follow yes with and. And so we actually do, my students and I do an exercise that's called a yes and exercise. And what I do is I give them a scenario. Like now it's been this semester, it was that scientists have figured out that peanuts are the next sustainable fuel of the future. So you've got a startup and you have to figure out how do you capitalize on this. But what happens is, so you get the scenario and one person has to say, oh, well, I think we can do this. And then the next person has to say, what I love about this idea is, and say what it is. And then they have to say, and we could also. And then they build on it. So when you have 15 students in a class, what you get from that first idea is very different from the last, but you can watch the building blocks. And it's one of my favorite exercises to do. So I love that, the power of and.
Yeah, I think it's going to be related to that. And just that idea of, if we could just default to curiosity, right? Like we live in such a world of judgment, and it brings so much down. And people do it to themselves, right? I mean, that's the idea, is that, I can't do that. I should, so I'm not going to. Like, oh no, don't do that. So, so and just be curious, right? Like just do the thing. Just see what happens.
Just see what happens. Right. Like there's a saying that people say, what's the worst that can happen? But my take on that I love is what's the best that can happen?
Yeah.
And that to me gets really, really exciting. So I actually picked that up from a mural in Miami, and I've got a picture of me doing a handstand next to it. Okay. So listen, y'all, I have officially introduced you to the most interesting man on LinkedIn. So please connect, like LinkedIn is the place that you hang out, right?
Oh, yeah,
That's
for
probably
sure.
the best place for people to
Yeah. So
find
be
you.
sure to send me an email, do
Yeah.
that. Right. No.
Yeah.
Connect on
Send
LinkedIn,
an
my guy.
email
Yeah.
with a pitch slap. It'll
Yeah,
be great.
exactly. Exactly.
But no, like seriously, slide into Josh's DMs, ask him for pictures of a shark. I'm sure he'll send them. But connect and learn more about his story. If you want to be a guest on Club Fuck It Bucket, slide into my DMs or my amazing, wonderful. Oh, wait, I'm not stripping on TV, I promise, but I am. Wait, Chris, look at this. Hip Productions. Woo, woo, woo. I wore it today just for this, and then I forgot to take off my sweater because it's really heckin' cold here. Yeah, so slide into my DMs or hit up my amazing live stream producer, Chris Hennessy. Josh, thank you so much for being with us today. You're just a joy and a light to have in our lives, and we appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the invite.
All right. See y'all on Friday.